Okay, we're home. Bee's still in the hospital. She's got pneumonia and on oxygen. And there's just myself, Squeaky the kitty, and Patches the dachshund. And I'm getting food headaches, so I'm gonna show you how to make a quick meal. It'll take me about 24 minutes to make this meal, and half hour because I wash dishes as things are cooking and as I'm preparing, so I'll round it off half hour and see if I can find out where Patches went. Here's Patches. We tie a sweater on her. Anyway, there she is. We're all hungry. Get the toy. Give me that toy. Yeah, she likes to play with the toy. Get the toy. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to peel back some corn. So I'm going to have a couple of ears of corn. And clean up a couple potatoes. And we'll get started. Okay, let's see here. And this stove is 1 year older than I am. I'm 72. And this stove is 1 year older than I am. Okay, this is our potato bin and our onion bin. And this, I husked the corn, so we're all set on that. This is the bread maker. That's the bread maker right there. And let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to get out a couple of pots. And what I want is, there we go, one of my favorites right here. We'll get a lid for that. Lid for that one. And we'll go in the other. Let's see, the oven. Nope. And this one will do it. There. I've got my pots, pans, got the corn husks, the potatoes, I got to do an onion. Okay, what we've got now, I put some water in my pan for the corn, and I've decided to have a few Brussels sprouts. Put some water in the Brussels sprouts in that pan there. And I've got my coffee going. And looks like I'm about ready. Oh, well, look at that. Well, come on in. Yeah. How's that? All right. Now, let's see what else we got to do here. Now, I'll swing over to the other side of the kitchen. I'll show you how I do my potatoes and my meat and everything like that. Okay, we'll take us a steak, maybe two. Let's see, I'll take two out. Two out, seems I'm sharing with Patches and Squeaky, the cat and the dog. They love steak. Okay, now what I like to use is Weber's roasted garlic herbs. I like that stuff. And I think that's what I'm going to do right now. Just use that, and then I'll put some salt and pepper. And that should be it there. Okay. Okay, there's Bee's moo cow telling me that I'm hungry, and the kitties are hungry. Patches the dachshund, that's our puppy, and Squeaky, our cat, and myself. Bee's in the hospital. She's got pneumonia, and oh boy, several things. I had to bring her to the hospital Sunday, and that's enough of that. I've got hunger pains. I'm back from the hospital, and I'm gonna fix us a good meal. Okay, here it is, 6:01. Yeah, a supper time. Squeaky's hungry, Patches is hungry, and I'm hungry, and I'm back from the hospital. Bee's got pneumonia, irregular heartbeat. They're thinking about shocking her, stopping her heart and restarting it again with a shock, and see if they can get it regulated and that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare a meal, and it's 6:02. I'm wasting time. I'm going to see if I can get this meal done in about 25, maybe a half hour, but about 25 minutes time. And that's doing dishes as I go, or whatever. That's it. So, let's see what we can do. Okay, now, this is the Ninja air fryer that I bought for Bee to make things a little easy on her. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the roast for 375. Let's see here. Okay, roast at 375, and then we're gonna let her preheat, and then we're gonna fix the potatoes, fix the onions, fix the corn, and fix everything else that we're gonna have for supper. I'll be back. Okay, now this is how I do my potatoes. I don't know how that's gonna come out. I think you can see them down here. Here's how I do my potatoes. Like this, I cut wedges like this. People say, oh, you got to get fancy. Well, this is going to be fancy when I get done. Yeah, we're getting hungry. The animal's getting hungry. I can't get fancy. I just got to cut this stuff up, make some wedges, and not too thin, not too thick. Like that, about like that. Put them in the pan. Alrighty, looking good. That's looking pretty good. Let's see, cut one like that. I like it like that. We'll put one right down the middle here. Alright. Now that's a lot for just me, but I'll get it done. Alright. Now what I do is I cut one end off like that. Put it down the middle, then I've got a wedge. Like this. Alright. Alright, now I'll start wedging this up. Oh, some people get real fancy and say, hold your potato like this, do that, and do this. Well, it doesn't matter as long as you've got a wedge. That's it. I call them wedges. This isn't fancy. It's how we do it on the farm. You want fancy, you're just gonna have to go to someplace else. Hell, we don't even have a red light up here. We do have a stop sign here and there, a couple of stop signs. We don't have no fancy restaurant. 46 miles. You want a fancy restaurant? Well, there's one up at the lake. There's one up at the lake for tourists. Kind of like a bed and breakfast type thing at the lake up here, but that's it. You cut yourself peeling potatoes. Well, there. Then that's all you do is you take a hunk of rope and tie a tourniquet around it and hope for the best. We're not city folks. There, that's the potatoes. Now, this is how I do my onions right here. I just slice them right down here and I keep them about a 1/4 inch thick. There. That's pretty good right there. One more will do it. There. That's good enough. That's good enough right there. And I'll just make a slice in the middle. Slice in the middle. Like that. That's it with that part. Now. Okay, now what I've done is I've got my wedged up potatoes and my onions, and I leave big slices, not little teeny slices like the rich folks do. Like I said, this is country, not fancy. I'm not a traveling chef. I'm a retired truck driver, and this is the way I do it. Now we'll just sprinkle a little bit of this in here. Yes, let me get my oil. Now I'm going to take my oil, right here, oil, and I'm going to run some oil over here, like that. That's enough. That's enough oil. See, I've put some oil in there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle this on there. Right here, like that. That should do it for the potatoes. Okay, now see how I've got that right there? Now I'm going to take a couple of spoons and shake that up. Whoops. Okay, like I said, I'm not fancy. Now that I've got my potatoes in the pot here and I've got everything in there now and shaken up, now I'm going to work on the steak. So what I do when I do the steak is I'm going to get my oil brush. I use a brush right here, and you just oil the top of the steak like this. Oil it like that. There we go. That's pretty good. A little bit on the sides. Don't need a heck of a lot. Like that. Now that you've oiled it, you take your secret mixture, and let me get it here. Spices, whatever you like. Whatever spice you like. I like this, so I sprinkle this on here. Like that. That's good. And then I take my spoon and beat it down in there. Just beat that farmer down. Like I said, we don't get fancy here. If you want fancy, you gotta go to the big city. Alright. Alright. Now, flip this over like this. Alright. Oil that thing. Now put some more oil on it. Like that. Now if you don't understand the difference between fancy and normal good truck driver cooking, then what we have there, as Jackie Gleason would say, I think we've got a failure to communicate. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so now you put the steaks in the air fryer and the potatoes with onions on them, and that looks good, smells good already, and that's how we do it. And we close the lid. Now what I do while things are getting boiling and starting to cook, I always wash things that I use as I go. Then when I'm done, all I gotta do is wash what I eat with, and that's it. All the dishes are done, everything ends up put away, and that's it. And that's how I do it. Okay, what I've got to do, Bee's in the hospital with pneumonia, and they're talking about giving her the stopping her heart and restarting it with electrical shocks and that. So, and Patches down here, Patches is hungry, Squeaky's hungry, she ran off, and myself, and I'm gonna fix us a meal, and it's not fancy. It's not fancy. We don't have fancy around here. If you want fancy, you got to go somewhere else. If you ask for fancy, well, what we have there is a misunderstanding. Now what I got to do, when this counts down to 12, I'm going to flip the meat and stir the potatoes, because I'm working on a 24-minute 1 3/4 steak, and 2 ears of corn and some green to go with it. So that's it. The countdown will be 24 minutes. I've already washed the dishes that I already dirtied to get going, and that's it. Okay, now we're waiting for the countdown. When she's at 12, that's what I estimated. I started at 24. I'm started at 24. So when she gets down to 12, I'm gonna flip the meat over once, check the potatoes and onions, and take it from there. Okay, we got 30 seconds. Let's see, here we go, countdown. 25, 24, 23, 22, here we go. And I'm not going to wait for the 0, we'll do it right now. Okay, there's a picture. There's a picture of the steak right there. I don't want to get this all greased up now. What we do is I use these, and we just flip this one over. There, she's looking good. Looking good. For a 24-minute meal, that's looking pretty good. Check the potatoes out here. They're coming good. They're gonna be good. The onions there for flavor. That's it. Shut her back down, and that's it. Okay, now you'll see a blue light and a red light. Now on this old stove, red is hot. The blue is a way that you can boil it without the water bouncing out of the pot. And then the low is green, and just to keep things warm is your blue, and that's how your blue works. Now that's pretty good. My corn is just about done, and we'll let it go a few more minutes. 6:45, I went 15 minutes beyond, so the meal is done. I was cooked it for 24 minutes, washed dishes, spent 15 minutes doing dishes, and now we're getting ready to eat. Okay, there we go, all done. Got the corn, Brussels sprouts, home fried wedged potatoes, right straight from Upper Maine, Northern Maine potatoes. Yeah, there you go. Yep, And she's about ready to eat. Okay, everybody's here, ready to eat. Patches, Squeaky, and myself. Ready to eat, ready to dig in. And this is gonna be good. Nice and juicy. Nice and juicy. There you go. Right here. Let's see if you can see that. There she is.